I did a session for a dog named Gracie. She was living. And when I asked her how she felt about her dad, she said, "My dad is a cowboy. He's disciplined. He rides horses. He likes the rodeo. He's lively. He has spunk." And I'm thinking, like, I hope these people live in Texas because, like, that's not gonna make sense, like, in a lot of other places. So her mom wanted me to ask her how she felt about her current living situation. And so when I asked her, she said, "I'm having a ball. I don't know about them. I don't care where we are as long as we're together. Even if we have to squeeze into a tiny space, I love it. We could live in a box for all I care." And I was like, "Is there more you want to share about this?" And she said, "It's compact at the moment, compact." And like, I saw the image of like an RV, like, like kind of like RV life, something like that. Now this was interesting. So another question her mom wanted me to ask was, "Do you remember the break-in and what happened?" There was like no other information given. So I asked Gracie this, and she said, "Of course I remember. I was there, wasn't I? I don't forget things. Dogs never forget things. They just don't think about the past. Someone came in, a bad person, a mean person, and I was there, and I bit him, and Dad hurt him, and we're all fine now." And I said, "Okay, is there more you want to share about that?" And she said, "Assault and battery. They got what they deserved. Trust me. And we're safe now. I'm keeping everyone safe from harm's way. No need to worry about anything when Gracie is here." Now, when Gracie said, "and Dad hurt him," what I actually heard her say was Dad shot him. But that was so just intense. I was like, I can't say that. Okay. So I was like on the recording, I was like, instead of saying like, okay, like she said my dad shot him, I was just like, okay, so I feel like maybe he was injured, like I tried to, I didn't want to say it exactly as it was because I was too afraid that because that's a lot, right? That's a lot. Like if that's not accurate. So she also said in the session, she used the term clutching my pearls. I saw her give a chef's kiss, which is like, mwah. And when she left, when we ended the conversation, she said toodles. And I don't think I've heard an animal end that way. So I got a feedback email from her mom. And she said, "I know you said you had a lot of confusion and didn't know if things were literal in this session, but it all made perfect sense to us. Jordan, her husband, being a cowboy was hilarious because he lives in his cowboy attire and loves the rodeo and at one time worked on the rodeo." And then she included a picture of the two of them and he's wearing a cowboy hat and they're at a rodeo. So I thought that was funny. She said the compact living situation and a camper, and I was so happy she said she didn't mind it at all because we stay adventurous all the time. We bought a large fifth wheel and started full-time living traveling. Now one of the things that Gracie wanted like changed, I can't remember what she said, was like no guns. Okay. And so, okay. So she said, "We do have guns and hunt and fish. The break-in happened when we lived in a townhouse when she was about 4 months old, and they hadn't taken anything but flipped all the furniture downstairs and ran out, leaving the door open. So when we came home, we swept the house armed and to make sure someone wasn't still there, and I found her in the corner where the couches were flipped, whimpering because she had been kicked in the chest and almost didn't make it." So lastly, she said, "I love that she said toodles. When Jameson was younger, her son, he was obsessed with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse show, and we used to always say toodles because that's in the show. I also do the chef's kiss when I think something is perfect, and I have said the expression clutching your pearls." And it was so funny because where Gracie said clutching my pearls, it like didn't make sense in the conversation. So it's almost like animals will randomly say things that their humans say, and they make no sense in the conversation. So I had given her feedback, and I told her, "Look, what Gracie actually said was that Dad shot the person." And I told her, I said, "I think what she means is that if Dad was there, he would have shot the person." And she emailed me back and she's like, that makes so much more sense, because yes, if he had been there, like, he would have protected the home. So I wanted to share about that. You know, I'm always, when guns come up in a session, it makes me really nervous, because that's like a big thing. And yeah, I worry about sharing stuff like that. Obviously worrying about sharing my dad shot him, that's a wild thing, but like, again, it cannot be literal. In this scenario, she said my dad shot him, but what the message she was sending was, my dad would have if he had been here. So I wanted to share about that. And if you have a million questions, please watch my pin video, because I get so many DMs of people asking me questions that are answered in my pin video. And I would also watch my video titled how has a cat seen the Matrix, because that explains more of what I'm doing, and that is all.